Hey everyone, just so you know, the following video is a clip from a show I actually do on AFTV. The full link for the video is in the description below. Thank you for your continued support, really appreciate it. It's from Sammy Mockbell on the Mail Online. Let me just give you the title. Declan Rice, Moussa Diaby, Wilfried Zaha and Mark Guehi are on Mikel Arteta's six-man wish list as Arsenal prepare to spend big in the summer in a bid to close the gap on title rivals Manchester City. Now, we're going to read this live together for the first time. I haven't seen this, but Arsenal will sanction a costly summer recruitment drive to close the gap. So this goes back to what Gunnar Vettel was saying earlier, and I thought he was referring to a different report, but it's actually this one that was published just an hour ago. The Gunners moved back to the Premier League summit. Cool. That won't last long. City are playing tonight. It understood Arteta wants a new centre-back, possibly two central midfielders and a versatile attacker. Bayer Leverkusen forward Diaby is believed to be of serious interest to Arsenal. 23-year-old has an excellent season. Cool, he's got 14 goals. And then what else have we got? He's likely to cost in excess of 50 million, Diaby. There is going to be competition from Man United, Real Madrid and PSG have all been linked. Now, Wilfried Zaha is out of contract at the end of the season and is also a consideration for Arsenal, but they want to pursue a move for Diaby before exploring a potential free transfer for the Crystal Palace star. So that's interesting because Arsenal have to make a decision quite quickly because I don't think Zaha will be clubless for that long.
No. We have been linked with Zaha in the past, and my good friend Curtis, shout out to Curtis, he's a fan of Zaha, and I know he's long been an advocate of Zaha coming to Arsenal. Listen, man, we know that Zaha is a quality player. He's getting on a little bit now, but even so, he's quality. He would definitely enhance Arsenal. Whether that would work, whether that would be their number one target, I'm not so sure. But certainly Declan Rice would be.
Well, get this as well. Rice is open to joining Arsenal now they have qualified for the next season's Champions League. The Hammers will be looking for £100 million, which may prove a stumbling block. Southampton's teenage midfielder Romeo Lavia is also of interest, while the Gunners remain keen on Brighton's Moises Caicedo. At centre-back, Crystal Palace's Mark Guehi has impressed Arsenal recruitment specialists this season, but the Gunners are one of many Premier League teams, including Tottenham, keen on the England international this summer. The North London club will also look to offload some of their fringe players with the likes of Folarin Balogun, Kieran Tierney, Rob Holding and Emil Smith-Rowe set to attract interest this summer.
I can see that, to be honest. I was saying to one of my colleagues yesterday on the watch along that I think Tierney's days at Arsenal might be numbered, as sad as that is for me to say. He's not had a lot of first team football. He's a very good player. Scotland International World Cup and all those kind of competitions coming up in the future. He will want to have his name out there, playing regular football. He's not getting that at Arsenal, and he might be thinking, you know what, maybe it's time for me to, move on. So I could see that happening. Smith Rowe as well, he's not featured much. He might be thinking, look, I can't see where I'm going to get a start here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the likes of Eddie, people like that, you know what I mean? Even though he's just not too long signed a contract, he might be thinking to himself, well, if Arsenal are looking for another striker, you know what I mean? I'm already not getting any game time. It might be time for me to look at my options as well. Balogun, as we've spoken about, he's on loan, doing very well, highly thought of, but he might be thinking, you know what I mean? Might be time for me to look elsewhere as well. So
yeah, I mean, my thoughts on all those is Balogun, I think he's gone because he's not. I don't think they'll tie him down to a new deal. I think he wants to play regular football. I don't think we can give him that. We can only give him a squad place. I don't think he's going to sign a contract unless he's promised.
I mean, where would he be in the pecking order? He'd be quite low down.
Well, unless he goes straight behind Jesus, but then you've got Trossard there as well. Is he ahead of Nketiah? Probably, but hard to know. So I think there's a real chance Balogun goes and that quite a lot of money is brought in for him. Kieran Tierney, I just don't think suits the way Arteta wants his fullbacks and players to play. So I think he'll be gone. But I keep changing my mind. Every day I feel differently. Sometimes I think, no, we'll get one more year of Tierney. Other times I think, actually, it does make sense he'll be off. Rob Holding, I think just makes sense. I think
even Rob
the team's evolved beyond Rob Holding. Sorry. Smith Rowe, I get it too, because every time we talk about Smith Rowe getting into this team, we talk about it. He's not got one Premier League start this year, you know. And I think we often talk about it, you know, in a sense of, how does he fit in terms of, you know, what will he be, the Xhaka replacement? So will he develop an understanding for defending, or will he be a wide player? But our wide players are all so direct and penetrative that I don't know if Smith Rowe's got. I think Smith Rowe is almost more of a number 10 or a wide creator, and I don't think we play like that. So,
and also you got to look at it like this: we're winning 3-0 against Chelsea yesterday, and the likes of him and Eddie don't even get any minutes. You kind of look at that, you're thinking,
that's
well,
weird. Yeah, you're
if
right,
you can't even
that.
play when we're 3-0 up,
yeah,
then it's
I
kind
didn't think of that.
You know
That
what
is
I mean?
strange.
That's what I was thinking. I'm looking at it because I'm almost putting
So could Eddie
myself
be off?
in those people's. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, because I saw Eddie last night. The camera panned to him, and he had like a snoot type of thing up, and he, you know, it was right up by the nose, and you could see he looked a bit disconsolate because he's probably thinking to himself, look, I need to get some game time here, man, because you know,
especially when he led the line quite well for us.
Yeah, I
you know,
mean, he's had a couple of sparing appearances recently, 5 and 10 minutes. That's nothing really. If you're a young player with ambition, you're going to want to play football. You can love the club as much as you want, but at the end of the day, it's your career. You only get one. You have to maximise your.
Yeah, and I think Arteta now.
And that's what I said about Tierney. I'm hearing rumours about Newcastle now. I'm not being funny, but Newcastle would be a great fit for Tierney, wouldn't it? I mean,
yeah, it would be. You know, Arteta's found a balance now with Arsenal where, you remember, even a summer ago, even 2 years ago, we couldn't give away any of these players. They were all crap. They were so bad. We couldn't get rid of any of these players. And now,
yeah, we're not going to name names, but I know who exactly
we're talking about. We were cancelling contracts and all sorts. It was a nightmare just to.
We were almost paying them to leave.
We were paying players to leave, and now we're in a position where, actually, because he's got the club to a certain level, there's stock in these players. There's a real value to them, and I mean, look at players like. Who are some of those Liverpool youngsters that Liverpool sold for like 20 million, like Ryan Brewster? Yeah. You know, but because Liverpool were doing well, his value was carried up with the rest. He was never worth 20 million. But you know, that's what you command when you're a club doing well.
Jordan Ives, your what's the guy who plays for Palace now? The fullback. He was one of those types. Yeah, Nathaniel Klein.
Did they get a fee for him? But, you know, so this is what I mean. So I actually think we'll get some decent money for some of these players. In terms of the incomings, Diaby, I think, makes sense as a backup to Saka. I think could be probably quite similar in the way he's used him there. All I would say is I would rather we get a different forward, because Nelson can play on the right, Martinelli can play on the right, hell, even Vieira can play on the right. Jesus can play on the right. I'd rather we get an Ivan Toney style striker.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You took the words out of my mouth. Listen, I think we've got to try and go for that guy. He would be perfect for us in so many ways. Yep. You look at his attributes: big, strong, skillful, confident, a real goal scorer. He even takes penalties. Listen, man. Mark, it's a no-brainer for me. We've got to try, because he's different to Jesus. And Jesus, for all the attributes that he brings, the one thing that I would say about Jesus is that he's not a prolific goal scorer. We saw that at City, and we've seen it up close and personal with Arsenal. He's a tremendous player. He gives a lot. He brings a lot. He's not quite that kind of, if you need a goal, you can be certain. Whereas with Toney, you do get that impression. Every time Brentford play and I look at who scored for them, I'm almost surprised if Tony's name's not on. You know what I mean? It's one of them, isn't it?
He's got 20 league goals this season.
And you know, with respect, Brentford are a very decent team, but you sort of think to yourself, if you're playing for Arsenal, with the amount of chances recreating a game, he's probably going to be like scoring 10 more in a season. You know what I mean?
You'd hope.
Maybe that's a slight exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying.
No, well, look, if he can bring 20
he's a
league
proper
goals
what I
Arsenal,
call sniper. Probably,
that'd be unbelievable. And he's got the hold-up play, and he's got a really good pass on him, and he is cool. You know, he's cool.
And I like his confidence. I think that's one of the real things.
He doesn't care who he's facing.
No, he will. You know what I mean. And even if he misses a couple, he has that little smug look, if you like.
Yeah.
Thinking that and then you see him get the next chance, he takes it and he goes off to the crowd and he's doing his little sort of celebrations, you think that's a guy that's got real self-belief.
Mark Gehi, I like the links. It tells you that Ben White's future is as a right back. I thought maybe when we were linked to Fresneda in January, that suggested to me that long term he wants White, Saliba and Gabriel battling it out at centre back. But you got Kivior in there as well. My glasses are going all over the place. You got Kivior as well. So I think the chances are that Mark Gehi, just does mean that Ben White's future is as a right back. Tomiyasu will probably play as a right back and left back. You've got other youngsters. And that's it really on the transfer front. The Zaha links, like it said here, it's a player you go for if we don't get Diaby or that doesn't look possible. The thing I like about Zaha, similar to Trossard,
so you're suggesting that's more of a fullback position?
Yes, as in like a backup.
But
what I'd say about Zaha is I've always really liked Zaha. In terms of, yes, he can play right and left, but he can lead the line really well. Yeah. I've seen him do what Tony did at the Etihad, which is lead the line against City, be an absolute handful, put his body about, take players out of the game, score big goals.
Proper player.
I'm a big Zaha fan.